So we had this problem on the car. Hi guys.
Hello.
So yeah, I mean, pretty much right after I tuned the car, this started developing, I guess. I even noticed when I took the car on the final drive, I was like, dude, something is going on. And so we ended up finding that guy and have changed it out, and immediately had to make some changes in the tune as a result of that. But it's not his fault, it's not my fault, but cost some time there for sure.
Absolutely. So what's the setup on this car? Stock motor?
That is a stock motor, and then I think the whole kit is a PRL kit.
Yeah.
I think it's a 62 millimeter turbo. I'm not exactly sure of the specs. I think it did 460 or so previously, and so now we changed out the fuel pump to bigger capacity, and so now we should be good to go for all of it. Trying to fix some of the cold and rich stuff for the E85 startup particularly. They have the water temperature fuel compensation going away at like close to 125 or so, but on an ethanol car you need to kind of extend that out a little bit further, so we have 8%, 5%, 2%, and then about 172 we're at operating temp, and then there's no more enrichment, which, let's see what we're sitting at right now. Yeah, we're at 185, so we're in normal operating range. The AFR is showing just it's a good number. It's showing that it's applying a 7% trim right here. So I'm 7% rich in my VE table right now. So right here, it's looking like I could probably drop this down
just a little bit.
Minus 5%. Click that in. Let's see if that. Okay, there we go. Now we've got like a -2 there at idle. Quite stable there now. All right, I think I'm ready to drive it a bit and then put it on the dyno.
Man, these doors really do slam shut.
Yes. We definitely need to turn traction control off. So that's very weird things on these, yeah. Definitely lean.
What changes are you making?
I'm just adding some fuel in because it was definitely a lot leaner than I'd like it to be there.
Yeah.
Which seems to point to the fact that coupler was ripped the whole time, maybe.
Whenever y'all were tuning.
Of varying degrees.
Yeah.
Wow. Your laptop is shut. I saw what I needed to see though. I got my data log.
About ready for the dyno?
Yeah. I think we need to make one adjustment, one more street drive, and then we're set.
Cool.
Oh, it shows that it was still recording. I think it actually got all of it. It did.
Nice.
So even though the laptop's shut, it still got it.
What changes are you making? Just some
I
fuel?
still need to add a little bit more fuel in. Yeah, I don't know if it's a difference because of the fuel pump is different, or if it's because we had a boost leak the whole time.
Yeah.
The boost level did eke up a little bit, so.
All right, so we made a few more changes. We're gonna go for one more quick little street drive, and then I think we're gonna throw this thing on the dyno.
Yeah, I've already tuned it at this boost level. Otherwise, I wouldn't be, taking it for a spin. But we had a couple weird drivability things, and we had, of course, the coupler rip. So we had a lot of, I think, related things, and we changed the fuel pump as well. So a lot of little changes on a car that was already tuned. So I'm just trying to make sure that it's perfect on its current boost level before I try to turn it up some more on the dyno.
Yeah, she's got some sauce. All right, so we got the Civic all loaded up on the dyno, ready to make a rip. Once again, this is a 2006 stock motor. It's got a bolt-on turbo kit. What'd you say? This is a PRL?
PRL kit, 62 millimeter turbo, I believe.
Okay. right, already beat the previous time.
I like it. Nice. I was not all the way in it either. That was a 74% throttle, 18 pounds of boost.
Well, we saw more on the street.
Yeah, it definitely looks different. It needs some adjustment. If you see the red line here, I know it's upside down, but can you come down to that?
Yeah.
Stair steps down. We have this step, then this step, then this step here, and they're all in an okay range. But I need to smooth the transitions there to where we just have a nice smooth de-escalation down to this area here. We did end up in the right. Let's see, we're at 11.9 right there at nearing rev limiter. So that's pretty perfect. Might add in just a tiny bit, bring us down to 11.7 or so there, but that looked good. Did good power. Let's check what the shape looks like on the dyno quad. Okay, yeah, looks right. Looks very right. I think you can kind of see the 3 stair steps of the AFR there if you look at the dyno plot. There's like one thing up to 5100, then from 5100 to 6,000 there's another kind of flat space, and then it flat lines again. So I think if I can smooth those all, we'll get a prettier graph. Although that is not a bad look right there.
Not for the first pull.
Nope.
What changes were you saying you were making?
I'm smoothing those transitions out where it was kind of stair stepping, like I said.
Okay.
And then we'll do a complete pull on that boost level at full throttle, and then I'll start turning it up.
Cool. Yes, sir. Awesome. Well, we hit that 500 mark like we wanted.
That was my minimal. Now we're gonna go for it.
Okay.
Okay, so something very important that I just did before I make any runs at a higher boost is our final column was like 20 pounds and we were hitting 19. So if we're gonna go higher than that, we need to rescale all of the tables so that we have some headroom there where we don't run into a place, because if you just, it will run on the final column. So if I hit 25 pounds, but my final column is 20 pounds, I'm gonna be operating on that 20 pound column, even though the car is eating 25 PSI. And I think we're probably gonna stop at 24, 25 area most likely.
Okay.
But you wanna have something higher than what you're gonna end up at. And furthermore then, if I know that, hey, this car is not gonna go past 25 pounds of boost, then I might go into my fuel tables, and at 26 and 7, I might start adding in a ton of fuel. I also might go into the ignition timing tables and bring those way down, so that if the car does happen to have a boost overrun at some point, for some odd reason, wastegate line burns up, wastegate fails, who knows what, but if the car is to overboost, hopefully it will run into a wall of fuel and a wall of low timing and nothing bad.
It's a giant safety net for everything.
So we of course still have a boost cut setting as well, but if you do all these things together, you know, you can do some things safely that maybe weren't thought to be.
Yep, and that's really when you're trying to really max out the horsepower too.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're operating near those last columns, like, you need to be thinking about extending and getting that extra headroom.
Okay.
But I got it set now. Everything looks pretty all the way out to 28 pounds of boost, and I gave the boost controller just a tiny click, and we're gonna see what happens.
Man.
There we go. That was all in there.
Yeah.
That was all in, yep. Still was 19 pounds, I think. Let's see what we got. 18, 19. 19 was our peak. came down to tapered to 17.5 by rev limiter.
She might have a little bit more juice in her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's give y'all a second look at the graph real quick.
Doing nothing but coming up as we rev out.
Yep.
You can also see that the shape of the graph is now smooth rather than that kind of 3-line version that we had earlier, because they were kind of stair-stepping on the air fuel. Now I've smoothed that all out. I think that was probably an artifact of the leak that we had in the coupler.
Yeah.
I did tuning with a leak in the coupler and kind of make a weird shape.
Yep.
But now that we have no leaks, yeah, man, it's definitely doing much better now. Okay, so this was that 544 run. Although the knock level stayed pretty consistent, once we got into those last RPMs, the actual sensitivity increases, so we did start getting some action from the knock sensor. Also, though, the mixture is leaning out. Not crazy lean. I mean, there's 11.6, 11.9, 11.8. There's a 12. We definitely don't want to see any 12s out there. So I need to add some fuel in there, no doubt about it. But it's hard to say whether the knock is coming in, because you can see the moment the knock comes in is kind of the same time the fueling is fading out a little bit. But also our ignition timing is escalating that whole section. So it may be that the car would like the ignition timing to flatline. See, right now we're ending at 17. Maybe we need to flatline at 15 and kind of just hold that out. Or maybe it's because we need to add the fuel in. So I'm gonna take a degree away. I'm gonna add a little bit of fuel there, and we're gonna see what our knock count looks like in a minute. Also, right now though, I'm gonna check a spark plug to make sure that those look, basically decide if, are we really getting knock, or is it just a knock sensitivity thing?
Okay. All right, so more than likely this is gonna be our final pull with the car today.
Yes, sir. I talked to the owner. It is a stock motor. He's not necessarily trying to break it. He wants to use it for a good while. So
yeah,
we're gonna draw the line at that 550 mark.
That's still crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of power for sure. So, and I know that I will win plenty of races.
Yeah.
He may, eventually get some built stuff going on, but for now, this is a lot of power.
A lot of power. All right, one last pull. There we go.
I chickened out just a little bit there.
Yeah.
Because I then moved the rev limiter up a tiny bit, and yeah, this guy here chickened out. So probably would have been a little bit higher than that, but it was a good pull all the way.
Yeah.
All right, well, we are all done with the Civic. I'm going to take it on one final pull, as the owner is coming today to pick it up. I want to make sure that everything is perfection for him.
Sweet. Well, hey, if y'all are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up button for us. It really helps us out, and we'll see you next episode.